Jason, we knew that Signalgate was not going anywhere for like a number of reasons. Number one, there was every indication that other Trump officials were using Signal on their private phones instead of a secured line to talk about high level classified things like, I don't know, strikes on a foreign nation. So this week, and it was interesting because, like, even though it was really Michael Waltz, remember, who added the journalist,
Yeah.
in the Atlantic, and it's like, okay, why are we focused on Pete? Because like it's Waltz who did it, but maybe we were right to focus on Pete because a second group chat has struck the building. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth shared information about forthcoming strikes in Yemen on March 15th in a private Signal group that included his wife, brother, and personal lawyer, according to 4 people with knowledge of the chat. Some of those people said the information Mr. Hegseth shared on the Signal chat included the flight schedules for the FA-18 Hornets targeting the Houthis in Yemen, essentially the same attack plans that he shared on a separate Signal chat the same day, that again included the editor of The Atlantic. Again, his wife, unlike the chat in The Atlantic was mistakenly included, the new one revealed was created by Mr. Hegseth, included his wife, a dozen other people from his personal, professional inner circle in January before his confirmation as defense secretary, and it was named Defense Team Huddle. He used his private phone rather than a government one to access the Signal chat. Again, none of his wife is not involved in any of this, nor is his brother and personal lawyer. His wife is a former Fox News producer, you know, the third wife, the one he had an affair with while he was having an affair with the one wife he was having an affair with. It's very meta when it comes to his, and that's outside of all, you know, the sexual assault. When it comes to his relationships, she travels with him, however, and that has drawn criticism from a lot of folks because she's accompanying her husband to these sensitive meetings with foreign leaders. His brother, Phil and Tim Parlatori, who continues to serve as his personal lawyer, both have jobs, or 2 brothers, both have jobs in the Pentagon, but it's not clear why either would need to know about the upcoming military strikes aimed at Houthis in Yemen. Now, 3 people in the DoD were let go for this. A senior advisor, Dan Caldwell, former Deputy Chief of Staff, Darren Selnick, Colin Carroll, who is the Deputy Defense Secretary's former Chief of Staff. They don't know why, but they think that Pete Hegseth, head of Department of Defense, thinks it was them who leaked this information. Jason, I think it was just his family.
Who leaked it all about
We really shouldn't be on these chats. This is like our intervention for him and his alcoholism, but for his Signal chats.
Well, I wonder if they were like, because it was like his wife and like friends, if they were like planning a brunch and he was just like, I can't do 1 p.m. because that's when the F-18s are launching. And then at 1:15, the first strike.
That's no good.
You know, you could just like put all of the stuff out.
How's the Wi-Fi at the cafe? Because I could potentially go there and just watch it.
Yeah. I mean, the worst part about this story to me is he's involved in all these Signal chats, and I'm kind of getting self-conscious that I wasn't invited on any of them. It's starting to feel like a personal slight a little bit that he's just like going out there and doing all these Signal chats, and like, why not invite me? It's some random Atlantic journalist and not me. I just feel
like you do need comedic representation.
Exactly.
You know, a dozen people, and Jason Selvig of The Good Liars is not one of them. It's just kind of an oversight.
It's rude. And I considered him a friend for a long time. And I'm starting to question that.
I don't know how your Easter was, but Hegseth spent his Easter trying to defend himself to the media, staring down the barrel of the camera here while his children very awkwardly watch on. His many children are like, just like this like dubious face of, is dad doing this good or not? Here he is.
This is what the media does. They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees, and then they try to slash and burn people and ruin their reputations. Not going to work with me, because we're changing the Defense Department, putting the Pentagon back in the hands of warfighters, and anonymous smears from disgruntled former employees on old news doesn't matter.
Old news. That's so, Jason,
you notice
those strikes were so last month.
Did you see his sideburns? He's got his
that one of
sideburns
them.
at 2 different lengths, which I think is it's just funny. It's just funny. It's not a sober thing to do to have.
You know what that is? Well, it's either not a sober thing to do, but I also think that's a hairdresser who kind of hates your ass. Like someone
He's
who's like, he
we're
won't
friends,
notice
right?
this
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
can't do anything about it.
The
Um,
hairdresser probably knows all this stuff too. I mean, if it's on the Signal chats, he's definitely like talking about it with his
yeah.
hair.
Oh, you got anything going on tonight?
Oh, actually, yeah, some bombing. Some F-18s are going to be launched at
Oh, that's
1:15.
crazy.
Yeah.
What kind of like weapons are you using? Are they like fighter jets and stuff?
Do you mind filling up the champagne again? Yeah,
Oh,
the fighter jets. Yeah, it's going to be F-18s, and we're trying to kill this big bad
ooh.
guy, but it's probably going to some innocent civilians are going to
What are
die.
the
I really
coordinates?
like
What are we
what you're
talking?
doing
Like
with this.
56? Like, I don't know. I don't even know longitude or latitude, but I know the
Oh
latitude
yeah,
for the
sorry.
sideburn.
Oh, whoa. Actually, I kind of like that. That's cool. That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, yeah.
It's
And
all the rage right now.
he said
I
it
don't
was
know
a
why I'm a
hoax.
little bit Latina, but not.
No, I know. It was good. It was good. We both really didn't commit very to the
No,
there.
but we can, and that's the
I should
point.
have yeah,
We
exactly.
show that we could
We
if
could.
we
We
had
yes
more
anded
time.
there. But
You know,
it's so weird that he calls stuff a hoax where like because he's just like pulling Trump vocabulary when this is not a hoax. Like the White House, the Defense Department, they confirmed that the Signal chat was real. Like they confirmed that this was real, and that's not a hoax. The fact that
yeah.
it exists and he was on there and he was texting these attack plans, like that is true. So he just keeps saying it's a hoax like Trump, but it's almost like it doesn't even make logical sense when he says it. Like Trump could be like, this is a hoax because it's not real. I can't believe I'm like defending Trump right now with this. Like in his mind, he calls things hoaxes that maybe are not true, but he is saying things are hoaxes that are objectively true.
No. First of all, they're both lying. I mean, Trump calls things that
Well,
are
I
real
don't
hoaxes,
know.
but
I
that's
don't know. I think Trump. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
we gotta give him a benefit of the doubt. He gets like one crime free, but no, this is just like all of these things are self-inflicted. That's my problem. And accordingly, it seems like other people have similar concerns because according to an anonymous source, talked to woke NPR at risk of being defunded. The White House is looking into replacing Pete Hegseth as defense secretary. Caroline Leavitt says that is fake news based on one anonymous source who clearly has no idea what they're talking about. Oh, yeah, just a disgruntled former staffer, some of whom I probably hired or maybe who are trying to, like, can you imagine if you're like one of like a cousin who's like, I should not be on this Signal chat.
I know. I'm 15 years old. Why am I on this? Yeah.
And they're in that thing where like you can't exit the group, otherwise it'll say you
They'll
left. Don't
know.
you hate
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny that the press secretary was saying it's fake news, that feels like it's like step one in like the 12-step program for Trump's White House of admitting you have a problem. It's like, it's fake news. And then it's like, all right, well, we fired some people because this was real. But it's like, I hate the vocabulary that is now like the national vocabulary, like fake news and hoax. It's like now we have to like think with these words and the definitions that were created by these crazy people.
Yeah.
It makes me sad. That's what I should have bitched about, but I guess I'm bitching about it now.
No, but I mean, I think, yeah, you're absolutely right that the words don't mean anything and fake news was always appropriated based on actual like evidence of in 2016 news websites that were just like coming out of Macedonia or whatever that were like, did you know Trump actually is God? And it's like, and Hillary Clinton eats babies. Like that's what it comes from. But it's also the biggest tell. I mean, you talk to, either, those people who are in the administration or who vote for them and love, who are MAGA. And there's just such obvious tells when they are lying, and saying something is fake news or a witch hunt is just a tell at this point. That, like, you wonder if their own folks can't even they can't suss that out, but also they're digesting media that completely ignores these stories.
Yeah. That's something we found where we bring up news stories, and I'm trying to think of a specific example, but bring up a news story about Trump or some policy to a Trump supporter, and they just wouldn't have heard the story. It didn't even come on their radar.
Yeah.
We learned, and maybe I mentioned this on the show before, but like a lot of people would get their news from Truth Social and just like watching Donald Trump's feed. And like, that's how they got their news, which is just like, it just melts your brain a little bit to be like, this is how you get your news, is from the person who's saying these things are fake news. So it is a wild, wild world.
Yeah, what's the news that's fake? Just say what the news is, and then you can call it fake, but at least report on the news. Not everyone is it's not just an anonymous source. I mean, this is I think Representative is it Doug Bacon? Bacon is a Republican and former Air Force general. He is the chairman of the subcommittee on cyber issues. He said, I had concerns from the get-go about Pete Hegseth. He didn't have a lot of experience. I like him on Fox, but does he have the experience to lead one of the largest organizations in the world? That's a concern. If it's true, he had another signal chat with his family about the missions against Houthis, said Bacon, referring to the Times report. It's totally unacceptable. He said, quote, I'm not in the White House, and I'm not going to tell the White House how to manage this, but I find it unacceptable, and I wouldn't tolerate it if I was in charge. And the other thing is like this is someone who actually served, right? Like I feel like anyone, and I'm not this person obviously, but anyone who actually served in the military, including the Joint Chiefs, one of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Joint Chiefs of Staff who was fired, who is like a whatever degree, like he's a fucking former like fighter jet pilot, and pulls rank on Pete by light years. I'm sure this guy Bacon also pulls rank on Pete. Like, just seeing the head of the Department of Defense be so ineffective and so terrible with their own security. Oh, by the way, Kristi Noem, also head of DHS, got her purse stolen. Like, what? My girl can't pay for coat check. Keep your purse on you. What's wrong with you, girl?
With $3,000 in it too, which was like, whoa, that's a lot. That's a lot of cash.
Yeah.
To have stolen. Or maybe she was just like, yeah, that's what I had in there for insurance purposes. I'll just say that. I like that this guy's name was Bacon too. That's just some simmering bacon now. That's a cool last name. I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and I thought it was funny that he was like, you know what, Pete Hegseth, he is in charge of the Defense Department. I liked him on Fox and Friends. I thought he was great on Fox News, but I don't know if should be in charge of the entire military. It's just like fucking wild that this guy was a Fox and Friends host. And not only that, you saw the video of him throwing the axe and hitting the band member, right? Like, he wasn't even that good at the Fox and Friends job. Like, I'm sure they had to pay a lot of money for hitting somebody with an axe.
They're so happy they got to offload him, though.
I know. They're like, oh, the Christmas parties are so much less stressful now that he is gone. Yeah.
Do you think he's going to last? Does he last through this, or do they find a way to get rid of him?
Well, it's like with everything with Trump. You got to think like, what's the stupidest possible thing that could happen? And I don't know if this is the stupidest thing, but I'm saying it could happen that Marco Rubio says something that isn't loyal enough to Trump. And he's like, you know what, Pete, you did a horrible job here. Signalgate is bad. We're going to make you Secretary of State now. Okay. You're going to fail your way up. You're going to fail your way up.
That's exactly right. When you said that, I was like, oh, collapse the State Department, which the Trump administration doesn't care about anyway, into the DOD and just make it one big agency. Pete gets a promotion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marco Rubio.
And it also like combines with a bar. It's like these three things now. It's just like a bar you can get drunk at. It's the State Department and the Defense Department all in one place. Yeah,
the State Bar Department.
Yeah, that works.
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.